Welcome to our live Pittsburgh Sports Line in the BPTV studios right here in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching our show. I appreciate you. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Chip Painter made it in this week, and Smoking Jim Frazier's eating that great pizza from Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Have a great show for you tonight. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. We appreciate you there. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate you. Thanks for all the Facebook likes. We got 6,769 likes. So we appreciate you watching our shows and liking our Facebook page. Can't thank you enough for that. We got a bunch of sports to talk about. You know, the Steelers started their season, or maybe you missed that. But we'll talk about that later, and I got some promos to talk about. We're going to put these out right now. The fights we've been talking about for a month are at the Bronson House. Can you get that close-up, Jacob? There it is. Bronson House, 5 o'clock Saturday night. 10 fights, $20 for adults. If you're in high school and younger, $10. Come on out. I talked to Skeets yesterday, or the day before, and yeah, it was yesterday. And guys sponsoring Charlie's Subs is sponsoring the fights with pizza, Smoking Jim. All right. So we're going to be eating pizza, having some fun.
Not as good as olive oil.
No way, but the price is right. I'll tell you that price is right.
Free is me, right?
I've never had a bad meal that's free. Every one of them's been great. Look at that shot there. I got another promo. Let me pull this one up. We're talking Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Best pizza in the park here. 412-831-1900. Frank Fanera owns it. He sponsors our show with a pizza and a hoagie, and we enjoy it. Got to give a shout out to one of his delivery guys. When he's making deliveries to your house, say happy birthday to Big George, 6'2", dark hair, beard. Say happy birthday, George, and don't forget to throw a few extra bucks for his birthday. Happy birthday, George. And then Scott's the man that cut our pizza up, and he cut the hoagie for the first time, 6 cuts. Did a great job on that, Scott. Didn't cut your finger. Here's something else to promote. The Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation. Joey with DIPG. It's a brain cancer that took his life while he was 8 years old, didn't make it to his 9th birthday. You can donate money there. Guess what? Next Saturday is their Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation Superhero 5K and 1 mile walk and run. Come out there. We're going to be filming from 9 o'clock in the morning, interviewing people and just passing the word out. All the money goes to find a cure for DIPG, that brain cancer. So come out Saturday, 9 a.m. Come out and run and walk. Have some fun. Next is the Bethel Park Historical Society Arts and History Center. Right there on Park Avenue and South Park Road. You can't miss it with the big red trolley there. The old school trolley's right out front. They had all kind of new windows put in. They got a couple different events coming up. You got to check out their website, the Bethel Park Historical Society. Check it out. Bill Habather runs a great operation out there and helps promote businesses in Bethel Park. All right. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, they have money for you from $100 to $5,000. Go to bpcf.org, get an application and apply for money. They can give you up to $5,000. Dan Duff said he even has more for these great groups that are doing great things in Bethel Park. So check that out. Bethel Park Community Foundation, bpcf.org. It's a 501c3. Next, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. Uncle Al wants you for BPTV. We got Jacob here. He's a volunteer. We got Devin Shays, a legendary volunteer every year. He's unbelievable. We got Zach. We got Jack. These two new volunteers are here tonight helping us out through our the only live show in Bethel Park, Pittsburgh Sportsline. Thanks for watching and thanks for all the help. I want you at BPTV, 412-831-3304. Call Dave Cable. Tell him Uncle Al, the talking machine, wants you to be a volunteer like these great guys. Look at how they make us look tonight. Look at this shot. What a shot by Jacob. Looks like I even have a tan that's a real tan, not like Smoking Jim says, but we got that. And I got another promo. We have a guy that sponsors our What's on Your Mind. It's Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. You want me looking in this camera now, Jacob, or you want my other look? Okay. Call him at 724-348-4715. Thanks to Skeets and Jack Conway. They got us at the Bronson House on Saturday night, 5 o'clock. But he works on anything and everything that runs on gas. If you have it, give Skeets a call, 724-348-4715. He sponsors What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier. Smoking Jim? What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al, for being the talking machine. And if you want the green,
a little miscommunication, but look at the pass.
The
Perfect
green.
pass.
I look like Ryan Switzer on that one.
No, you didn't.
Or the best receiver in football.
You look like Martavius Bryant sitting on the bench.
Best receiver in football, Jarvis Landry. I look like him a little bit.
Not really. You look a little shorter.
Well, what's on my mind, everybody, and I'll just say this briefly. 2 years ago, I told everybody and nobody believed me that Le'Veon Bell told me on the Wednesday in the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room he no longer wanted to live in Pittsburgh. So no matter what the Steelers would have offered Le'Veon Bell, he wasn't going to sign. Here's my full page City League High School preview. I'll slide that down for you guys to look at. There's a Macklin in there. I said he'd do good. In the next game, he went and ran for 5 touchdowns. But what's on my mind?
Whoa. I didn't know what's on your mind.
Is the top 10 linebackers, greatest linebackers in Pittsburgh Steelers history. Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, for liking that particular post. And I got over 120-some comments out there. So I'll just go.
Well, most people don't know. You're just putting a hook in them. You put that hook in them by what you do. And I think there might have been 12 on there. I wasn't sure. I lost count.
It's hard to argue with this particular list. But I'll go for 10C, Lawrence Timmons. 10B, Robin Cole. 10, Vince Williams. Number 9, James Ferrier. Can't argue there. Number 8B, Jason Gilden. Number 8, Lamar Woodley. Number 7, Chipper, Mike Merriweather. Number 6C, the Dirt Winston. How about 6B, Henry Davis? How about number 6, Kendrell Bell? Number 5B, Levon Kirkland. Number 5, Chipper loves this one, so does Al Levine, the talking machine.
Jarvis
Two of
Jones.
your favorite, James Harrison. How about
Excuse me? I didn't hear what you said.
James Harrison.
I thought you
still
were getting
didn't
ready
hear
to
you.
say Jarvis Jones.
I still didn't hear you.
How about 4B?
Who?
His son's going to Penn State. Pitt lost another one, Joey Porter Sr. How about number 4? He should have been in the Hall of Fame, Andy Russell. Number 3B, Kevin Green. How about number 3, Greg Lloyd? How about number 2, Jack Ham? Number 1B, Jack Lambert? Jack Lambert 1B, and the greatest linebacker in Steeler history, T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt will go down in history as the greatest.
How's that even
linebacker,
possible?
As the greatest linebacker.
How's that even possible?
In Steeler history, and that's what's on my mind. The top 10.
How long's T.J. Watt been here?
It don't matter.
1 and 1A, or Lambert and Ham, and you can put them in whatever order you want.
They hit it,
Everybody
TJ Watt?
else comes after those two.
Hit a T.J. Watt.
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
kidding me? What's he done?
11
How many
tackles,
championships?
11
How many
tackles,
Pro Bowls has he
11
made
tackles, 4 sacks, and a
and-
blocked field
How many
goal on
Super
Sunday.
Bowls?
in one game?
How many Super
championships
Bowls?
did he bring
Last
to
year he set
Pittsburgh?
a record. No
How many-
rookie.
How many championships did he bring to Pittsburgh?
Huh? That's
None.
a team thing. That's a
How many
okay.
Super Bowls?
How many Pro Bowls has he made?
I'm saying who's the best linebacker. I'm
Wait,
not
how
saying
many
who
Pro
won the
Bowls
most.
has he made?
I'm saying who's the best linebacker.
How many Pro Bowls has he made?
I
We're
think
from
he's the best
Pittsburgh.
linebacker.
We're from
You're talking
Pittsburgh.
about
We-
who's-
We
How
judge
many
it
Pro
by
Bowls?
Super Bowls.
It
We,
don't-
we
it
judge it
don't-
by facts, is what
Huh?
we judge it by.
I'll judge it by the looks of things, and I've never seen a linebacker better than T.J. Watt.
Can I see your
White
glasses?
power.
Can I see your
White
glasses?
power.
Let me see your glasses. I want to look through those lenses.
Zach agrees with me. My man Zach is right on. He's the one that Zach agrees
Okay.
with me. Forget
Good.
what you guys say.
That's all right. Smoking Jim is quite the entertainer as usual. Thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier, for your top 10 that was 12 or 13 or 14. I don't know. I lost count, but we appreciate it. Chip Hayner, welcome back. And what's on your mind?
Well, thank you, Alan, and it's great to be back with my two co-hosts, or should I say partners in crime.
Yeah, yeah.
But first and foremost, I want to make recognition of what today is. And today's September 11th, 2018. And 17 years ago, the world changed for all of us quite dramatically.
Yeah.
And, you know, for all the brave people that lost their lives that day, and for all of the brave Americans that have given their lives in service to their country since then, we all need to take a moment, reflect upon that, and, you know, never forget.
Yeah.
But that being said, what's on my mind, and, you know, maybe I'm a little old-fashioned. I was taught to behave in sporting events
Dave Cable just walked in.
in a certain way.
What is going on here?
Okay, I was taught to behave in a certain way during a sporting event growing up, and I witnessed something this past weekend at the U.S. Open that is one of the worst displays of sportsmanship
What was
that
it?
I've ever seen. Serena Williams was penalized for a rules violation, and she decided to have a temper tantrum and decided to make a big issue out of it, and behaved like no professional athlete should ever behave. It was embarrassing to see this happen. She created quite a storm, and the young woman who handily beat Serena Williams, and I mean beat her from start to finish legitimately, okay? Girl's 19 years old. She beat one of the greatest tennis players to ever play,
She's Japanese.
and it doesn't matter what she is.
No, it's the first ever.
She's a tennis player.
She's the first
She's
ever
young,
Japanese
and
woman
she's
or
an
man to
upcoming
win.
star, and she beat one of the greatest
Yeah,
of
but
all
this-
time, who acted like a complete prima donna, and her behavior, there's absolutely no excuse for it. It's unacceptable behavior, and is this the kind of message we want to give the youth of America when it comes to how do you behave? You know, I was taught to have respect for my opponent. I was taught to have respect for the game, and I was just taught to have respect for the referees, the umpires. May have disagreed with their calls, may have argued with them, but at the end of the day, you need to just, you know, take your medicine. She got waxed for a rules violation, which everybody in tennis says coaches coach from the grandstand all the time. Everybody does it. Well, here, Patrick McEnroe summed it up like this. It's against the law to speed. Everybody does it. But every once in a while, somebody gets caught, okay? So you get caught, what do? You pay your fine and you move on. Unfortunately, Serena didn't see this fit to do this. She turned the crowd against the young girl that beat the pants off of her. She broke her racket on the ground, and subsequently she got fined $17,000. I think they should have taken the entire check
Nurse.
away from her, which would have been $1.6 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that would have made more of an impact. But, you know, and then I see people posting on social media that while they were booing the champion during the trophy ceremony, Serena comes forward and says, "Oh, stop booing. Well, look what you created. Oh, wasn't that a great show of sportsmanship?" No, it wasn't. It was terrible. She's an embarrassment. And, you know, she owes everybody a huge apology. But if that's the way sports are going, and it seems to be that's the way we gravitate towards,
Sure.
it's one of the things that is making me less and less of a sports fan. And I've always been a passionate one my whole life. But
Welcome
what's
to
on mine.
2018.
well,
Chipper.
I know, like I said, I may be a little old-fashioned, maybe a little naive, whatever. I just think disrespecting people, there's no place for it in sports.
Couldn't agree with you more, but times are changing. The guy next to you doesn't agree with that stuff, but
Yeah, that's what makes this world a wonderful place.
At least you didn't kick dirt on the umpire.
see, he had to make a comment there.
And I don't know who was that directed towards. I mean,
Disrespecting baseball.
okay, yeah, but
He's reaching.
who did that? Okay, who did it and when?
He don't know.
He would have to see a baseball game to do
right,
that.
right.
Mr. 300 ticket.
Thank you, Chip Hayner. We appreciate that. I got thrown off my A game when I saw the director of BPTV, Dave Cable, come in here.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, we're on,
Unbelievable.
We're on notice now, right?
Wow, for him to be here observing our show, what an
Talk
honor.
about your banquet on October 18th.
What about it?
I'm
Should
gonna
I
go
say
there to
that?
Support you.
Dave Cable notified me the other day to keep October 18th open. Then he just told me why. Two of my shows, I produced the Jessica Lee doing the Pint-Sized Songstress, Maxine Sullivan, a musical show. It's up for a musical award at PCTV. And then I got a sports show that's going to be nominated called The Miracle League in Upper St. Clair when we filmed that show, and I interviewed about 17 people up there. So
Sean Casey involved?
yeah, he's
The
involved
mayor.
in that. Yeah, he wasn't there. He was on vacation that day, so we would have had two mayors talking. So, but yeah,
The
I
mayor
missed
of
him
Upper
on
St.
that.
Clair.
But the show's up for an award, so I don't know who's going to win, but we're in competition with Moon and PCTV. I don't know who votes on it. I'm worried because Smoking Jim Frazier said he's going to be there. And I know he usually has the only vote. So that's my brother from another mother.
Who do we have?
I disagree with a lot of his things.
Who do we need to bribe?
So I don't know. He can be bought. That's all I'm saying. But I just wanted to tell you I'm honored to be nominated for 2 awards. I talked to John Patterson, the director of PCTV. Had a very nice conversation with him. And I thanked him for the honor. And I said, how many awards are being given out? He goes, 1 for each category. So I
Very
get
informative. Isn't it?
yeah, I get 1 ticket for each award. So he goes, you got 1 ticket? I go, well, shouldn't I get 2 tickets? He goes, yeah, I guess you should.
Wow.
So you get 2 tickets to go, but my best buddy's going to be there anyhow, so who knows why. And then, lo and behold, I was told Jessica Lee's going to be performing that night.
Wow. I'm going to get front row seats.
So we have that to go on. Oh, what's on my mind? Thanks, Smoking Jim. That was on my mind too, but what's on my mind is I bleed black and gold. I follow the Pirates, the Steelers, any team here in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Thunderbirds, you name it. If they have black and gold, I'll follow them. Watched a great game that put me to sleep. 8 minutes to go in the game. We're winning 21-7. I saw a quarterback who's one of the elite quarterbacks overthrowing people like crazy, fumbling the ball, throwing interceptions, and handing the ball off nicely to James Conner, who I think he was the top running back in the league on Sunday with 135 yards, 192 yards total, counting his pass catching. He worked on his catching passes this year, and you could see it. He did very well. I don't know what Smoking Jim's saying about this brittle brother thing, but he was plowing into people. and I was impressed by that. But I still cannot believe, I can't reconcile this. I'm an old school guy. You got a team that's 1-31, and you're up by 14 points. I had said to my son, and it was just around that 8-minute mark, I go, man, this game's over. Was I wrong? Forget about it. How do you, they didn't get beat, but how do you play like that? And the defense has been suspect in my mind forever.
This loss was not on the defense.
Well,
not in any way.
No,
shape, or
Big
form.
Ben's responsible. You can't give up the ball 6 times, and Connor had a great game until he fumbled. A guy slapped the ball out. After that, he had 2 arms on the ball, but he should have had that before. I blame a little bit of the coaching, because they do coach you up during a game. They give comments, they give advice, and there should be some leadership there. So I noticed the craziness on the sidelines, lack of discipline, everything else you want to do, and I'm seeing my quarterback be as disappointing. I don't care if he has 3 years, 5 years, or 5 minutes. He was throwing the ball high on almost every play, and it's just shocking that he was like that. And his road record, guess what? Read the record books. You'll see how it is when he's on the road. He's a different quarterback. Guess what? He proved it again. And how did we not win this game?
Well, notice this. Well, think about this. The Steelers now actually have 2 guys that are number 1 in the league at their position. James Conner's the leading rusher in the NFL, and Ben Roethlisberger's leading the league in turnovers.
Yeah.
And T.J. Watt's leading the league in sacks.
Is he?
No, the Steeler defense is number 1 in sacks, 7 sacks.
Thanks to T.J. Watt.
So the defense
I
outperformed.
think Bud Dupree's sack was way better than that, than the others, those 4, but that's just me.
Well, we'll talk about that on the Steelers segment at the end of the show. But I'm still in a state of shock that we didn't lose the game, but we tied the game. And then these guys are making all these comments that maybe it's a good thing and that might help us. How does it help you when you tie a game you should have won?
As far as I'm concerned, it's a loss.
Yeah. But you got guys coming out and saying that in their interviews, but that's another story. Then the lack of respect for your teammate who's going by the CBA, and all the comments the lineman made about him and threw Le'Veon under the bus, they'll be the first guys to come and hug him when he comes back with 6 games to go. So this is what we got to go through. Is there trouble in the locker room? Most likely there is. We'll see what happens, folks, but let's go Steelers. We'll be back with Smoking Jim Frazier's Fiction and Fact.
Hi, I'm Matt Hurley, one of the adult leaders with Cub Scout Pack 215. We wanted to take a moment to tell you that Pack 215 is doing its annual enrollment in September. Throughout the year, there's going to be so many fun activities for your Cub Scout and you and your family. Cub Scout program offers it all. It has outdoor fun, family values, citizenship, personal recognition and achievement, and definitely making and keeping new friends and working as a team. We also have special occasions such as museum sleepovers, camp outings, Cub Fun Day where the children can do archery and knot tying and hiking and even BB shooting when they get a little older. Camping at this age is just introductory. It gets you an idea of how the Boy Scout program operates. It really is a unique place where you combine outdoor fun, learning about citizenship, family values. Cub Scout Pack 215 is for kids in kindergarten through 5th grade. It is the entry-level program before the Boy Scouts. We're affiliated with Memorial Elementary School in Bethel Park. We have dens that make up our packs. Dens are comprised of children in a similar age group. Pack meetings are once a month. Dens meet twice a month, typically a meeting and/or another event. The cost for the year is $120, and that covers all pack-sponsored events and, of course, all the equipment and things we need to run the pack. After you join, you get a chance to participate in fundraisers, and the kids can draw off those fundraisers for future tuition. Special events and optional outings that the pack hosts can be done at a separate charge. An important part of the Cub Scout program is the Cub Scout uniform. The uniform is an important part of Scouting as it shows the advancement that Scouts achieve, with various patches and ranks that get sewn on as they make further achievement through the ranks of Lion, Tiger, Wolf, Bear, and Weeblo Scouts. The uniform is purchased separately at Flag Plaza in the city. Cub Scouts is a unique and awesome program for yourself and the entire family. It really is a unique place where you combine outdoor fun, learning about citizenship, family values, activities with friends. Cub Scout program offers it all. Please check us out, www.cubscouts215.com, and we hope to hear from you.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chipper. Thanks, Devin Shea, my main man from Gateway, Zach and Jacob. And I didn't
Oh,
meet
disclaimer.
I didn't meet
He
the new
actually
guy.
lives in Bethel Park. Zach lives in
For
Bethel
now.
Park. Still.
Not in high school
Still.
yet.
Still. He's in 8th grade.
Who's the new guy? I didn't
Jack.
meet the new guy, Jack.
We got Jack here. We got Zach and we got Jack.
Well, I got a lot to get through, so I'll go real quick.
No, please take your time. We'll wait for every word.
I told you guys in 2015
How
that
many
Pat-
times you gonna repeat
that
this?
Pat Narduzzi was a bad fit at Pitt.
Ugh.
I told you to turn around a struggling program like Pitt that's struggling both on the field and in attendance. You need an exciting offensive guru that is entertaining, that will fill up the stadium and attract recruits.
Are you reading?
Yeah, I got it written down so I can go quick.
You're going so slow, it's unbelievable. It's like molasses.
Well, number two, a good coach will bring in junior college players at a struggling program.
Hold it, I got P-O-I-N-T.
P-O-I-N-T.
Point.
Point. Oh, okay. I'm just going through this real quick.
I just wondered because I heard this. I listen to you every week, and sometimes it's the same time, same thing.
and it doesn't change. And listen, you bring in junior college guys, they're 20, 21 years old, opposed to a 17, 18-year-old kid who is still in love and homesick with the homecoming queen. Number two, Gray Shirt, which was made famous by Nebraska. You got schools here. Every kid in the city in the WPIL grows up wanting to play for the University of Pittsburgh. So you have rich kids that's in Upper St. Clair, Mount Lebanon, Bethel Park, Pine Ridgeland, Gateway, Central Catholic, and Quaker Valley, just to name a few. Their parents can pay for their school. They don't mind walking on. A gray shirt, a red shirt, you get 5 years to play for. A gray shirt, you get 6 years to play for. So instead of bringing them in September, you bring them in January, have them play spring ball, red shirt them in the fall, and then they have the next 4 years to play ball. And then, listen, here's what I have to say about this. Pitt, I blame Narduzzi for losing the game, and here's the reason why. When Pitt was down basically at halftime 7-6, the holder that held last week's game in Albany didn't hold this week. They had a punter from Australia hold. Here's the problem. The punter from Australia never held a day in his life. You're playing in front of 70,000 people on national TV in a hurricane rainstorm in the mud, and you're holding auditions as a holder. He botched two snaps. He fumbled a punt, and then when Pitt was down 7-6, fourth down from the 3-yard line where a field goal would put them ahead, they had no confidence in the holder. They went for it on fourth down, didn't get it, and the rest is history. In the second half, Penn State ran off about 40-some points thanks to Coach Terry Smith, who did a great job.
So you're telling me that Pitt got steamrolled because of their holder?
Well, I'm saying that was poor coaching. How do you put a guy in from Australia who never held in a game before in his life? You didn't even have him hold in the first week against Albany, but you have him hold. Not only the Pitt missed an extra point, they missed a field goal. He fumbled the punt because he shook his confidence. And then you're on the 3-yard line. You're down by 1 point. You got an easy field goal. They had no confidence in the holder. They went for it and got stuffed.
How many tackles did he miss?
Pardon me?
How many tackles did he
It
miss?
was 7-6 at the time.
Okay, so
It was 7-6 at the time,
if the
Chipper.
opponent
Did you
scored-
watch the game? You
No.
didn't watch the game. I can tell you didn't watch the
Yeah.
game. You're
Why
a
would I
Narduzzi
watch that
fan.
game?
That's why
I can
that's
sleep.
why Pitt is sticking up the joint. You got the Pitt Hall of Fame out there. You got Dan Marino. You got Hugh Green. You got all the great ones. And who's standing in the middle of the pictures? Franco Harris.
guess what I
Franco
got?
Harris is in the middle of the Hall of Fame picture.
Where was
at
the kamikaze
midfield.
kid?
Yeah, where's
Guess-
Kamikaze
guess-
Kid?
Guess what I got?
What?
8 hours of uninterrupted sleep.
But hey,
I watched that game, buddy.
I told you guys, get an offensive guru. I'm done. That's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. I told you the ingredients to do it, and now Joey Porter coaches right next door. His son's been there for the last 18 years, and Pitt couldn't get him. Penn State got him. I would fire Narduzzi.
Well, there you
Bring
have
back Walt Harris.
there you have
Bring
it,
back
folks.
Walt Harris.
The key to success in major college football, and I guess this would equate to the pros, is who's your holder.
Holding for a snap is easier than playing first base in baseball. How you screw that up? Except for you bring a guy in from Australia who's never done it before. Inexcusable. Fire the special team coach and Narduzzi. And that's fiction and fact for Smoking Jim.
Thank you again, Smoking Jim Frazier.
And my man Zach agrees with me.
I don't know about that.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to my trivia segment. I was reading something this morning, and it kind of drove what I decided to make my trivia segment about today.
Whoa.
And yes, Tim, I do read. Okay. So,
I didn't read this morning.
yeah, it's not just this morning. But I'm going to ask a question now, and I will answer it at the end of my segment. I want everybody to give this some thought. But what got me intrigued was a list of the teams in professional sports that have the most players in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And there is one team that is head and shoulders above everybody else, and I will guarantee you nobody will guess who the number one team is.
Chicago Bears.
And I'll get to that a little later on in my segment.
Wow.
Okay?
Can't wait.
And I'm going to go through by franchise the people that are in the Hall of Fame that played in the NFL. Now, take into account the players, the numbers that I'm going to give you are not just only the players that are in the Hall of Fame from that team, but it's anybody that entered into the Hall of Fame that even played one season on that team. Okay? So I did want to, because, for example, the numbers are going to be different, but the Steelers have 21 members in the Hall of Fame. Okay?
Sure.
And the number one team in the NFL with Hall of Fame members in the actual count there is 28, would be the Chicago Bears. Okay?
I got it.
So-
I nailed it.
I'm going to, just touch on some Hall of Fame related type things. And there is one Major League player who's the only player in Major League history to win 4 National League batting titles and is not yet a member of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He played here in Pittsburgh.
Whoa.
Won a World Series here in Pittsburgh. Won 2 of his batting titles here in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Won 2 of them in Chicago.
Shoeless Joe?
No, that would be Bill Madlock,
Bill, yeah, I was going to
the
say.
Mad Dog.
Really?
Yes.
Was he that good?
Yes,
he
he
was
was that
he
good.
was a good ball player.
If you would have
When the
followed baseball,
Pirates
you
got
would've
him
known
in a
that.
trade from the Cubs, it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
But you would have had to pay attention to baseball to know that. Okay, so what college basketball team has the most NBA Hall of Fame players? Can you give that some thought? Think about all of the players. You know,
Duke.
Ohio State has 4. Fred Taylor is coach, Jerry Lucas, John Havlicek, and Bobby Knight. Okay. North Carolina has 4 with Larry Brown, Billy Cunningham, Bob McAdoo, James Worthy. Michael Jordan is at this point, when this information had not yet been elected, but I guess North Carolina would have moved up.
Yeah.
Who was the first Major League baseball player to get into the Hall of Fame? And it's kind of a trick question.
Yeah.
Because there
They
wasn't.
brought in 5 at the same time.
There you go. And that would be the answer to your question.
Yeah.
In the first Hall of Fame class,
How you know that?
how did you
I
know
know
that?
baseball a little
Now,
bit.
you know, but the first elections
nailed
for
that,
baseball's
Smoking
Hall
Jim.
of Fame
Nailed
were
that,
held
baby.
in 1936. 5 players were elected: Babe
See.
Ruth, Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Christy Matheson, and the big train, Walter Johnson.
Honest.
National Football League team has the most Hall of Fame players. That would be the Chicago Bears. Okay, we went on to that. What NFL team has the second most players in the Hall of Fame? And when this was written, it was the Green Bay Packers because they had 21 at that time, and the Steelers only had 18
Whoa.
at that time. Since then, we've
3
picked up
more.
a couple more. We picked, believe Bettis got elected. Kevin Green, who went in as a Steeler.
Or Jerry Kramer. So that
Jerry Kramer bumps that up. Good point.
Great
good point.
point. Smoking.
I know
Jim.
my white guy.
Only when you want to.
Let's
It's very
see here.
selective.
Now, there was something else here I found
What else
quite
do you got?
interesting. Well, something I found kind of interesting here. Who was the first black player inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame from the American League? And this one, actually, I found it quite interesting. But the first black player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame from the American League would have been Mr. October, Reggie Jackson.
No. There was the other blacks for him. American League?
American League.
That's what it says there?
This is what it says here. Satchel Paige played 6 seasons with the Indians, the Browns, and the Athletics, and he was elected in 1971. But it made the Hall of Fame more for what he did in the Negro Leagues than he did at his time in the American Leagues. So it's kind of an interesting little fact. I wasn't aware of that. I would have guessed otherwise. Major League player has played for the most games for only one team. This one, Boston Red Sox, was the last man to win the Triple Crown before Miguel Cabrera.
Yes.
Carl Yastrzemski, exactly correct. 3,308 games. Hank Aaron is second with 3,076 for the Braves, followed by Denora's own
Wow.
Stan the Man Musial with 3,026. And believe it or not, somebody from the modern era here, Cal Ripken Jr. is fourth with 3,001.
Now,
can
what
believe it.
category is that?
Baseball players that have played the most games for only one team.
One team.
One team, yeah, not the number of games. But just to go down through real quick, and I'll wrap this up because we've got
Take
plenty
your
to
time,
talk
take
about.
your time.
We've got Steelers to talk about tonight. Penguins are going to training camp.
Yeah.
The Pirates are still playing baseball, believe it or not, and actually some very good baseball, as a matter of fact. But real quick, the Arizona Cardinals, 19. Atlanta Falcons with 8. And when I say that, Brett Favre went into the Hall of Fame as a Packer, but Brett Favre also counts for the Falcons, for the Jets, for the Vikings, because he played for each of them as well. The Baltimore Ravens have 5. Buffalo Bills with 12. Carolina Panthers with a whopping 3. The Chicago Bears, 34. Cincinnati Bengals with a big 3. Cleveland Browns with 21. Led by my all-time favorite, nicknamed the Toe, Lou Groza. The Dallas Cowboys next up with 24. And this is in alphabetical order. Denver Broncos with 8. The Detroit Lions with 21, with none other than Dick LeBeau as one of their members. Green Bay Packers with 30. He's listed. Okay. Bart Starr was still a better quarterback. The Indianapolis Colts with 17. Kansas City Chiefs with 20. San Diego Chargers with 14. Did Bambi make it? No, Bambi is not.
He's in.
Lance Allworth, yes, he is.
That's my favorite.
Lan-
I know my white superstar.
Yeah, I was going to say why, because he had big
Stick
thigh
'em.
muscles. Los Angeles Rams with 30. Miami Dolphins with 14. Minnesota Vikings with 21. The Patriots with a mere 8. Next up we got here, I think, the New Orleans Saints with 9. The New York Giants with 31. New York Jets with 12, led by Beaver Falls' own Joe Namath. The Oakland Raiders with 26. The Philadelphia Eagles with 22. Pittsburgh Steelers with 28. San Francisco 49ers with 27. Seahawks with 9. Tampa Bay Bucks with 8. The Tennessee Titans with 15. With the Washington Redskins with 37, leading the league there. But just a quick rundown of the number. So now, getting back to my question. The team, professional sports team, and I'll narrow it down for us. A North American professional sports team that has the most Hall of Fame members that has played on its roster would be none other than the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Wow.
With 55.
That's North America.
It's in Canada. That's part
And
of
they
North
got
America.
55 Hall of Famers.
55 Hall of Famers played for that team at one time or another. Well, you got to take into account teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens. They've been playing for almost 100 years.
Almost everybody in hockey. You almost can't not make it in hockey.
No,
Well,
not
you know,
really.
you got to take
Not
into
really, Smith.
Jim. You got to take into account.
Where's the Hockey Hall of Fame at? The Empire State
No,
Building?
Jim,
Everybody.
before you start yucking it up too much, take into account that up until 1967, there was only the original 6. Okay,
I
and
mean,
the
they was good enough to
stop!
go in the Hall
Don't
of
interrupt
Fame.
me. The second 6, the Penguins are part of the second 6.
Okay.
Okay, so but that's why the older teams would have more Hall of Fame
Why?
players.
Just because there was only 6 teams don't mean you're a Hall of Famer.
Well, they did Hall of Fame things. They've done things
Then
that people
what?
said.
Showed up?
Well, apparently,
know hockey,
apparently you don't.
55?
You know about as much about hockey as you do about baseball.
I know about Hall of Fame, man.
No,
You
yeah.
shouldn't be no 55 Toronto guys in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you know what?
Hold it. What about your Hall of Fame and how you vote? Guilty as charged. All right, let's move on. Thanks, Chip.
Good job, Chipper.
No, that blew me away when I read that. I think number
That
3
is-
on the list was the New York Rangers.
Wow.
Oh, man. Everybody
Pittsburgh
gets in.
Steelers-
Everybody gets in hockey.
The Pittsburgh Steelers were number 21 on the list.
Can you name me one hockey player that didn't make the Hall of Fame?
Hundreds of them.
Yeah, where? Just name
Toronto.
one.
Yarmur Yager.
You know he's going in.
Not
My
yet.
favorite.
Not yet. All right, thanks, Chip. Appreciate all that trivia and the extracurricular activity with Smoking Jim Frazier.
55 Toronto.
Well, Welcome back. On location, we got a great show for next Monday, the 17th. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 7:30 to 8:30. Got 4 great guests. That's all I need. We've got Andy Anderson has a Muay Thai event October 13th. He's going to be talking about his event. Friend of ours, Jamie Chesney, is going to be on the card fighting the first Muay Thai fight in years. So look forward to that. Then we got an author who wrote a book on a guy named Jack McClendon, known as the Pride of Pittsburgh. Started boxing in the 1890s, the early 1900s. Was a champion featherweight boxer. He dropped off a book. Guy's name's Vincent. He dropped a book off at my house. I've been reading about it. What a great-great-grandfather he had. So he'll be talking about him. Then we got a guy that has a local First and Goal sports collectible place in South Hills Village and Cassidy Village. Mark Caputo. He'll be talking to us about signed shirts and cards and all kinds of things related to sports right here in South Hills Village, so check them out. Then we got another guest, Attila Domos, the paraplegic that's trying to set the hand cycling record October 6th and 7th on the Uber track. He's going to go for the world record again there, and we'll see what happens. He called me up and told me he has a great guy who's a public speaker and is a champion swimmer who does fundraising, and he swims in oceans. He's been in 7 different oceans late at night. So I can't even imagine what we're going to talk about there. But he's supposed to be a heck of an athlete and just keep swimming and raising funds for different causes. So we'll have to talk to him. Darren Miller is his name. So we got a great show. Come on out, check out the show. You get to hear Smokin' Jim's latest comments about Steeler football and Le'Veon Bell, and who knows. I just have one great thing to say after the tie game. That Smokin' Jim cannot say the Steelers don't want to be great, just 8 and 6.5. I was waiting for that all day.
8, 7, and 1.
That'll be it. I was just being facetious there, because it doesn't matter about the facts with Smokin' Jim. We know there's a half in
He
there.
never lets anything like the facts cloud his
You
point of view.
cannot let that get in the way of a good sports argument with Smokin' Jim Frazier. But come on out to On Location. They got great food, great specials. Check it out. Frank Fanera sponsors our show, and can't wait to be out there Monday the 17th, 7:30 to 8:30. Be there. Enjoy the show. Come.
We got great news from all this flooding, all this rain, very sad. But because of that, our Fantastic Four golf outing has been postponed. What's the new date?
October 1st, Monday, October 1st.
Okay, October 1st, Nemacolin Country Club on Route 40 in Bellsville, PA is the place, the location. Registration is at 10 o'clock. Shotgun start at 12 o'clock, and we are looking for golfers. We need corporate sponsors, and since we were delayed a month, now October 1st, it'll be fast approaching, but please give us a call. You could call me, Andy Amrine, 412-760-9614.
Or
you-
Christine McIntosh, 412-835-2207. Don't worry if you're not a golfer. You can still join us for dinner at 5 o'clock.
Dinner's at 5, and it'll be a great dinner. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great event. This is a charitable event. It benefits the Bethel Park Community Foundation, the Bethel Park Education Foundation, the Bethel Park Public Library, and the Bethel Park Historical Society. All the proceeds will be split evenly between the 4 groups. Golfers, dinner, sponsors, we could use it all, but there's only a few little spots left. So really, pick up that phone, give us a call, or stop down at the hardware store at the library.
The Bethel Park Fantastic Four Charities Golf Event, Monday, October 1st at the Nemacolin Country Club in Bellsville, PA. If you need to register as a golfer, you can do so by seeing Andy at EV True Value Hardware or myself at Bethel Park Public Library. You can also register online through the library's website at bethelparklibrary.org.
Running out of time, don't delay. Call us today.
It's a fake wall.
Uh-oh.
Welcome back. Glad you didn't change that dial. We've had a lively discussion. Listen, well, Smoking Jim has different facts than the real facts, but somehow we're getting to it, and who knows what he's doing.
Fake wall.
He's pretending he's a mime.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He said it's a fake wall.
Marcel Marceau here.
Yeah, he did. He did. Hold it. I'm in this box here, too. Oh, wait.
So,
What can you do? Steeler talk. I told you how disappointed I bleed the black and gold. I thought the Steelers could be at least 11-5 this year. Now we got this half game. We got this loss, not a loss, but it's like a loss to me because they didn't beat a team they should have.
well, I look at it as a loss because they didn't win.
Makes sense.
That's just my humble way of
And
looking at
it just shows me.
But I will tell you this, after watching that first game, watching some of the games in the preseason, specifically the Green Bay Packers game, I had serious concerns about the Steelers' ability to be able to play defense. And, I think the Steelers showed that there is some hope for the defense, but then you've also got to take into account they were playing the Cleveland Browns. Now, the down part is Browns rushed for 177 yards against Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Same problem as last year. Couldn't stop the run. I saw the lack of proper tackling technique. Is that a good way of putting it? I don't know what these guys practice. I don't know if
They don't practice that much. That's the
well,
problem.
it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious. But that being said, switching Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt did not seem to affect T.J. Watt at all. He was making plays all over the field. Okay, I think you could put him in, plug him in anywhere, and he's going to find a way to find a ball carrier and to have an impact on the game.
I just wish they'd let him rush a little more instead of going back and playing pass defense.
Well, you know what?
I would
think
appreciate that.
utilizing his
Send
talents.
him.
I thought that the Steelers' weakest point going into this season, and this has always been one of their strongest points, is their linebacking core.
Yeah, it is.
Bostic played a nice game. I mean, yeah, he did 9 tackles.
Yeah.
Fared well, but let's also.
Tuitt stunk.
No, Tuitt was there.
Oh, he stunk. One play
He looked
game.
good.
One play game.
Yeah, he
He
did
looked
make
like
more than.
he looked like
he-
Tarzan.
He and Cameron Hayward played very well
Hayward
together.
can play. Hayward can play.
Yeah, but Hayward.
Tuitt looked like Tarzan to me.
So, that all being said, I think the Steelers will have a better defense. Sean Davis played fairly decently. Cam Sutton came up with he got burned.
Oh, he
but
looked
he
terrible.
also got you got a pick, and Terrell Edmonds was out there getting involved in the play.
And facing the crowd. Yeah, Mike Tomlin's boy from Newport News. Hey, listen, I always say this. This is the whole problem. This is the reason why I bet on Cleveland. I bet on Cleveland for the simple reason I was always taught, and Chip, you and El Levine, the talking machine, will agree with that, is that you play the game for free. You get paid to practice, and you play like you practice. Everybody, listen, your
What?
boy Antonio Brown didn't play in one preseason game. Ben played one series. It was like they was on vacation the whole preseason. It used to be you prepared and you worked hard. You practiced 3 times a day. You got your rhythm. It doesn't matter about the preseason games. You get your practice. You get your timing down in practice. And them guys did not do it. That's why they were sloppy. Don't forget, coming in here next week, Kansas City, they can score in bunches. I think Ben will be better. He got a good surrounding cast.
Hold it, where they
but
playing at?
They're playing here, and they still might
Okay, he'll be the Ben that we know.
because he's playing at home.
Thank you.
He's playing at home.
And Jim, you made a great point there. And the fact that the team did not get to practice together to get their timing down during the preseason. Yeah, you got the 2 rookies. They got plenty of reps, but they're not the ones that are playing the games. And right now, everybody talks about how great the Steelers' offense is. I think it's the most overrated thing in the NFL right now is the Steelers' offense. if you cannot put more than 21 points up on the Cleveland Browns, granted, the Cleveland Browns got a lot of number 1 draft picks over on their
Yeah,
side of the
they
ball.
do.
Okay, and that's great because they've been running them in and out like nobody's business the last 2 decades. Okay, none of them seem to stick. I will say this: Myles Garrett looks like he's going to be a beast.
He's for real.
I mean, he is for real. And
Villanueva had everything he could handle
everything
and
he
more.
could handle and more.
Yeah.
And he got very well acquainted with Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh,
And that's not the kind of person that you want getting friendly with your quarterback. But, you know, the Steelers showed moments of greatness. I thought James Conner played a very solid game. You know, he was solid hitting holes, did a great job
what
rushing.
I liked is the blocking schemes were a little different, but he burst through the holes.
Well,
He
he's
made-
a different type of runner.
Of course, but he did pause a couple times, so he's been watching Bell, but
Mm.
he took advantage of his speed and hitting the hole because he did power through it. He knocked people over.
Now, you know, I mean, I think the Steelers have a lot of work to do, but you are not going to win games. You're not even going to tie games in the NFL with 6 turnovers on your side of the ledger and only 1 turnover
How do you lose
on
a
the other
game?
side.
Wait, how do you lose a game that you got 6 turnovers in? At the Browns.
Well, they,
I
you know,
mean, you didn't
because
win.
they're the
Yeah,
Browns.
I mean, but
because there's the Browns. And T.J. Watt, I loved the fire that was in his belly when he blocked that kick at the end of the game because it really,
Yeah.
you know, at that point I had already considered it a loss. But the fact that we walked out of there 21-21, he made sure that we did not lose to the Cleveland Browns.
They were going to make that kick. The computer showed that was going to be a made kick. If it wasn't for T.J. Watt, greatest linebacker still in history.
I don't know about all that. You know what? That remains to be seen.
I think he's only had like 15 months here, so
Well,
I'm a little nervous
I
about
mean,
it.
I'm
let me ask
excited
you.
for him.
Let me ask you guys this,
Uh-huh.
and here's where we go back to poor coaching. Who is the best cornerback on the team? They got him from Cleveland last year.
Joe Hayden, of course.
Now you got Bobby April that can't coach himself out of a wet paper bag. Thank goodness they traded for Ryan Switzer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got Joe Hayden pulling a hamstring on blocking for punts. Why is he? I mean, that is the most ridiculous thing. You got other people on that team to do that. Why you got your best cornerback who has to match up against the top receiver on the team? He does enough running. You got him on the special team,
That is
and
a
he
great
pops
point.
a hamstring.
That is a
Great
point.
point, Smoking
That is
Jim.
a great
point.
point. You know,
come
there's-
back strong
You know, they
from
got
that
plenty of rookies.
lunacy.
They shoot. They could have put Mason Rudolph out there if they would have left him activated. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what's going to happen if he pops a hamstring?
Nothing.
You know, I mean, come on. You know, so what's he going to do? He's not going to be able to limp that water bottle over to Ben in between. You know,
Was you guys surprised the black quarterback made it?
where?
Where? What
made
team?
the team, the Stiller team.
Oh, is he black?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's a.
Did you? Would you guys have kept Jones?
No.
Experienced
No,
backup?
I've
and
never
and
been a
and I'll
Landry
tell you-
Jones fan.
And I'll tell you the reason why. Very simply put,
Coach Tomlin.
everybody
black guy?
knows what Landry Jones has to offer. They know he is what he is. You're not going to make him into an all-pro quarterback. You're going to make it. He was a decent game manager, and I think Mason Rudolph and Josh Dobbs have way more upside, and they have more potential. Landry Jones is never going to get any better than he has been.
Did Josh Dobbs get the black vote from Coach Tomlin? in
I
your
have
opinion?
no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea because
No,
see,
I don't think so.
Jim, I just look at a vote. I don't look at the color of it.
I don't think so,
That's
Smoking Jim.
just me.
Is Tomlin black? I'm confused here. I didn't know that. I thought he's just a player's coach. Doesn't say what color he is.
But,
Bradshaw just come out and said that. So
But the Steelers have their work cut out for them this week. You know, Kansas City came out great, but you watch. You know, the team that looked like all pros last week looked like zeros this week.
welcome to the NFL. Well, thanks. We're running out of time. About 17 seconds left to go. Thanks to Dave Cable and the staff here, Jack, Zach, Jacob, Devin Shea, of course. And I want you all to please stay Joey strong.